Alright, guys, what is up? What is up, Tomboy Official? Time for another My Queer Dreams. I think the last fire was put out. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, was the first time I didn't see the Palisades fire on the map. Hughes fire was still on there. I don't know for how long, but this morning when I looked again, it seems like it's no longer on the map. What I saw when I looked it up, it says, like according to like a certain fire, I don't know what it is. I don't know what you even call it. It's some kind of group that's supposed to address the fires and tell you about how contained they are or aren't, and kind of talks about the details of it. Whatever that group is, they specified that according to the way that they measure it, that the fires are out. But I don't know if that means that there's like no embers or no smoke or no nothing, or it's just out according to them. Like, I don't know exactly what that means, and I haven't gone up to any of those areas, so I don't really know. I don't know. I mean, the air quality has improved, but I'm kind of I don't know. My throat and sinuses and things are kind of affected more by the heater, I guess, because it's cold. It's cold, and I have my heater going. I never got a humidifier. I've been keeping the window kind of cracked, but it's like that kind of like defeats the purpose of having a heater on, because it's like I've got this little space heater, and it's not as powerful as like central heating, but I mean, as long as everything stays kind of like closed up, it helps, but it kind of dries out the air. And I can't really turn it off that much because then it gets pretty cold. Like, we don't have like the best insulation or the best like window seal like seals around our windows, and so like if you're next to a window, you can kind of feel the cold. If you're next to a wall, it's definitely colder. And we don't have our furniture just like in the middle of the room, like it's against the walls and up near the windows and stuff. So anywhere you're actually sitting, unless you want to sit in the middle of the floor somewhere, and the floor is cold too, so it's like it's kind of cold, but it's sunny. I see the sun right now. Yesterday was cloudy until later afternoon. I guess that's my weather report. But yeah, with this dream, I didn't sleep too good the night before. Not sure if it was probably related to caffeine when I think of it, because I was really wired. And then I had a limited amount of melatonin. I was like, well, these stupid gummies. I got the ones that 2 of them equal 3 milligrams, and that's not really enough for me to like really get tired to sleep. Like, I'll get a little tired, but not fully. It doesn't like combat the caffeine effects. Like, it does almost nothing. Like a little bit, but not full force. And so I was like, I only have 6 left, and I have to actually do stuff today, Friday. So I was like, well, I'm not buying any more till like Saturday, so let me just go with the ones I have like now. And so I didn't take as much melatonin on Wednesday night, so my sleep really wasn't that good. And then Thursday night, I took some, I don't know if it was 9 or just before 9 p.m. I took like 6 milligrams worth, and I started getting sleepy, so I was like, let me go to bed. Went to bed near 10 something, and then but started the process before 10 p.m. and then slept pretty well. Woke up maybe 2 times, but I fell back to sleep and decided near like 6:30 I need to start getting up, 6:30 a.m. or so. But I don't know, I was I was sleeping and it was a pretty vivid dream. I was it actually felt kind of real, which was kind of weird. Um so there's someone that I've in the past gone on dates with, and I'm still kind of like, I still talk to this person, but they don't live near, so we don't really um we don't really talk, I guess, much. Like, we do, but we don't. Like, we haven't been talking for a little while, but we're kind of back to talking to each other lately. And then I don't know why we didn't talk for like maybe like a couple months almost. I don't know why. Like, there was no real reason. Just I had nothing to say, and they I don't know if they had anything to say, and I'm fine with it. I haven't really seen them in a while. The last time I could have seen them, they kind of last second like sprung their schedule on me when I was literally busy and unable to see them, and that was like September. So like, I haven't seen them for a while now, but I'd like to. I've tried, I've wanted to, but haven't been able. But we kind of recently started catching up, and it's kind of weird because it's not really something on my mind. Like, it's not like I really am thinking too much about it, but I guess apparently I am. I don't know, but somewhere in my mind, they're holding space somewhere in there. But it was a good dream. It was kind of funny. I was how did it start? Well, in real life, I guess I've talked to them on Instagram, and I kind of almost forgot that I had a message that I guess I hadn't replied to one of their messages. Like, I kept it, like, I saw we were going kind of back and forth a little bit, and then I left the last thing that they sent just kind of like unopened, because I'm like, well, if I open this, I'm not gonna remember. And so I like the notification still there so that I'll remember to go back in, because I still have a message. And I saw it this morning, actually, and I replied back, but I don't think I thought about it at all yesterday. I don't think I talked to them since like Monday maybe, and yesterday was Thursday. So, and this is all real life, and so I kind of just left the message kind of like there, because they're busy and they don't, with Instagram you can see when people have been online and stuff. Like, they're not always online, and so it's like, well, and I'm not gonna just ghost them or anything, but it's like, I wanted to respond, so I just didn't click it, because I was like, what's the point of clicking it if I'm not gonna like say anything, and then I'm gonna forget. So I left it there, and I don't think it was really on my mind to be like, oh, respond back to this person. It's like, I don't really think like that too much. But I had kind of forgotten, but I was like, well, I'll, like, whatever. Like, I'm not always messaging everybody. Just some people I message regularly, and other people I just kind of don't. I mean, but I mean, they're cool. That is not like an issue. So basically, in this dream, I guess I had responded to this person on Instagram saying something along the lines of, just catching up and filling in with what kind of how we normally talk on there. And then I'd said something, I guess, along the lines of making plans, like you should come over here, like kind of throwing out a couple plan options, saying like, oh, you should come over here, like, because I was saying like my schedule's like really busy, but I was trying to explain to them the times that I am available, and one of those times was like ridiculously early in the morning, and I was like, because I know they work certain hours where it's like, well, they technically could meet. Like, most people wouldn't be able to meet those times, but they don't work like a 9 to 5. They work a different kind of schedule, and so they technically are sometimes awake, early morning, and I am too, so it's like, but I guess the time that I had pitched to them was like even earlier than like 5 a.m. And I guess in this dream, I don't know what house I was in. It wasn't the place. I don't think, other than the front of the driveway, didn't look like the house where I stay. But this person, I mean, they're a queer person, and basically in this dream, we were trying to meet up, but I had maybe sent a message that I was like, let me clarify, you know, and like later, but I guess I never responded to like clarify. So they took it as, okay, well, I'm going to be awake. They were saying in their mind, I'm going to be awake early, like super early. And so they were going to make an effort to just come from a different county all the way to where I'm at to kind of try and meet up. And I guess they never told me this, and they were just like going by my messages, because I guess I'd said something to them along the lines of, okay, like, well, technically I'll be available between like 2 a.m. and like, or let's call it like maybe 3 a.m. and like noon or something, like, I don't know, something like that, something that's like a weird time where I would never really try to make those plans, but it was the time frame where I knew I'd be like available technically, but I was just throwing out time frames, because I was like, if you really want to know my schedule, these are the times that I'll be technically not actually busy, but it's like, we could maybe plan during one of those times. But I was like, none of them were like a normal convenient time, but I was thinking like, okay, if we did confirm, I could make it work. But it's like I never really responded back. I just kind of shot out a message with the times I would be available, and they were weird times. And I guess in this dream, my mom, I think, or someone was like knocking on my door because I was sleeping, and they're like, you have a visitor, you have a friend here to see you. And I was kind of like, what? And it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I was like, what do you mean? Like, I have someone here to see me. And it's dark out, and I'm like trying to wake up to see like, well, who is it? And it was this person that had come from work all the way from another county to come and like visit me. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna like turn them away. And I technically did say that I was like free. And so I was like, well, let me get dressed and like get ready and like go out and like meet with them. And it was just weird. We were like hanging out in like the driveway, kind of like the street area near the house, and like catching up and stuff. And I'm just thinking like, okay, do I have them come in the house? Do I like invite them in? And I was kind of like, well, I don't really want to, because I don't want to have to explain to my family like how I know this person off of like some kind of like a lesbian dating app kind of thing. And like, I don't really want to like explain that, but I also don't want them to feel like I'm like not introducing them. So I just, for some reason there were a lot of people there that I knew all of a sudden, and I just wasn't introducing this person. I was just like, because I don't really know how to introduce them. But we were all kind of hanging out, and then there were like other people that I didn't know. And then some other topic came up where they were still there, but I think we were talking about like Priuses and like buying a Prius. It was some kind of like money conversation where we were kind of doing calculations. Like I was helping somebody with some calculations of like some kind of car that they might be able to get. And I was explaining like, the interest rates and like how their insurance would be calculated, and like what they have to consider if they're going to get this car. they'll have to consider all these different things and kind of what it is that they're gonna have to like keep an eye on, so that they'll be able to afford it. And you know, it was it was kind of based on reality with like, you know, how expensive everything's getting. And I was kind of like helping them go through their finances for some reason. I don't know what this was about, but like we were going through their finances to see what they'd have and what they'd be able to afford, because they really wanted like a Prius or something. And I don't know if we were at like a car dealership or what, but like we were just like talking about the numbers, and it was kind of based in reality of like, okay, well, if you live in LA and you drive this much and you live this far from your job, and these are the things that are like priorities to have to do when you're not just like going out having fun, but these are the things that like you're gonna have to get to and from these places. How much would you be spending on average on gas and car maintenance, and how much would it cost to even get this car or to make payments on this car, and what would all the expenses be, and then your other expenses on top of that, your necessities for like living expenses and rent and things. And like the numbers weren't adding up at all. And like this person was helping me to help this person that I talked to, I guess through Instagram, that had come and visited me super early in the morning. We're trying to like, because they're really smart, and they were trying to like help me to help this person. They're like, oh, I think I found another way to calculate this. So like most of the dream was like trying to help people. Like I think we were like helping, like multiple people were like, oh, you guys know how to like do the math on this. So we were basically like volunteering to like help people. And there were like multiple people that like, I guess the friends I knew were like introducing other people that I'd never met before, because they're like, oh, this person can help you like figure out how to like get a car, or how to get whatever it was that they were trying to get to try to afford living in LA and paying for all their bills and trying to afford some other necessity. So we were trying to like help them out. It was like we were like at a place where it was almost like, if you remember back in the day, way back in the day, you know, like if you see in movies how back in the day when you would register for classes, how you'd stand in line and there would be like a person at a desk and you would like register for classes, and they would kind of like put in your classes, like pre-computers, like when you could just do it on your own. You'd have to go into like at least an office. So it was kind of like that. And we were like volunteering off of the side. It was like an enclosed, like a sun porch or like a deck kind of area of, apparently I guess it was my house, but our house doesn't have anything like that. But it was almost like that, kind of like if you've seen this 6 Feet Under, that show, how they have that area where this kind of off the side of their kitchen where they watch TV. It almost looked like that, kind of like a sun porch kind of situation, but it was kind of more a little less formally a part of the inside of the house. It kind of felt more like a porch, like an enclosed porch. Like I think you could like open it up into the backyard or something. I don't know. I don't really remember fully how it looked, but like it was daytime by this point, and like there was like this mother, like a young mother, who was like, I think she was pregnant and had like a kid that was young enough that she was holding. And so we were trying to help her like the most, because we realized she had like all these priority needs, and we're like, oh my gosh, you know, like she's got a lot that she needs to like figure out pretty soon, because she's got kids and stuff. And like, so we're trying to help her. And then I don't know, the dream went on and on and on. Like the lines were getting like longer and longer, and I'm like trying to tell some of my friends, because I guess the group of friends was waiting for us to finish, you know, with that, because we're supposed to go to some club or go do some other fun thing. But I'm like trying to like tell them like, well, why don't you guys help, or at least try to help, because like these lines are getting long and we're never gonna get out of here. And like, and this wasn't even like, me and this person were actually like supposed to be trying to hang out. We weren't trying to be like volunteering all of a sudden, but it just got to a point where that's what we were doing. And I'm like, well, I like doing this. It's kind of fun to find solutions and to give people like a plan of like what to do. But it was kind of like, well, we're not getting paid for this, and it's not, something that I have to do, and it's not something that, I'm, like, I know how to do it, but it's not something that I fully can explain to somebody to try to do it. Like, it's not like a profession. It's just kind of like a hobby of like how I know how to do like basic budgeting, like, and so I don't really remember the rest of the dream, but it was basically me and this person doing that. And then we were like looking at cars. I think, like, I don't know if we were looking at cars or if we were just talking to the mother, the young mother with the kids, and we were just like talking to her. I don't remember if we were talking to her. I remember something about her, like she was like a big part of the dream, and then we were like talking to her a lot. But I think she had like a minivan. In a way, she kind of reminds me of a client I used to have, even though that person was too old to be pregnant. But cause she was like in her 60s or something. But for some reason, in the dream, this person kind of reminds me of that person, like how much help they actually needed with a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm just thinking, like, in my head, I was thinking, like, how does this person have kids and they don't know these things? Because like it was stuff that like is pretty basic knowledge. Like it was like basic stuff, like basic life skills. And I was just like, man, this is gonna be rough because they've already got a kid and they've got one on the way. And I don't remember what happened to that, but there was like a lot of like talking with this person and like laughing with this person because we were like also like it was kind of lighthearted and we were like telling jokes. And then like I guess all of this was happening because of something that happened in like the political system that just like screwed everybody because of all the changes of crappy stuff that's happening now. And so it was basically everybody, being affected. And then I guess in the dream I had some kind of skill, and so did this friend of mine, where it was like, okay, well, we have some kind of worthwhile skill that we can actually do some good to help some of these people. But it was like on another side, I was like, I'd rather spend my time, like, let's go to like a gay club and do something fun. Like, I'm not really trying to like be doing this all day, from like 3 or 4 in the morning. But the dream went back and forth with that kind of task and like doing that, and just me like catching up with this person like near the driveway of the house. And like I don't remember, there were like a variety of different conversations, but those were like the main themes. I don't remember the conversations anymore, and when I woke up I didn't want to write it down because I was like, then I'll stay up longer. But I feel like when I went back to sleep, I was like continuing the dream. I feel like they were still in the dream. I just don't remember the specifics. Like it's kind of weird. It all like fades even now as I'm like even talking about it. But I mean, it was crazy. Like I was like, what is this? And it was pretty like vivid and like realistic. It was just odd. Like it was like odd stuff like that happening, but it wasn't like all these weird like fantastical types of things happening where you're like floating around in space or whatever. Like it was pretty realistic, but it was something that in reality it probably wouldn't happen like this. But I mean, it didn't feel like too far off from something realistic. It was just weird that they were there so early in the morning. And I was just like, man, it's early in the morning. Like, I'm trying to like talk to this person and I'm like, man, it's early. And like, And we weren't really like alone. Like there were like family members and like other people and friends and stuff around. So it was kind of like interesting because I don't really hang out with this person with other people in real life necessarily. Like kind of, but not like really. Like I don't like introduce them to like my family or friends or like anything like that. Like we don't really have a lot of people in common, like a little bit, but not really. We probably know like at most, if I think about the people that we have social media in common with, maybe two people that are also on Instagram that I met through them. And then there's someone else I meet that I don't have any social information from them that sometimes comes and joins us. So we, those are like, it's like three people. Like I don't really know a lot of people in common with them, but I guess in this dream, maybe I did. Or maybe there was more mingling going on than what would be normal. And yeah, it was weird, but I guess it was because I guess they were saying like because I didn't like respond to the Instagram message, they just took it as like, oh, this is going to be the plan, so they just went with it and they're like, might as well just show up. I don't know how they had my address. I don't know. Like it was kind of weird, but I was like, okay, like I was happy to see them. I was just kind of like tired and I was like, dude, this is like they just showed up and like I was kind of tired, so it was kind of funny. But yeah, I was like, it was interesting. I was like, what kind of dream was that? That was a weird dream. It was fun. It wasn't I don't think it was stressful. It wasn't stressful. It was kind of like somewhat current events based, but also it was like vague, and I don't really know what specifically had happened beforehand that led to this kind of aftermath of things to where we were doing something. I don't know, like volunteering or something. It almost reminded me, like, not so much of the fires, but a little bit. How it's like people started like volunteering and pitching in to like help and like give stuff out or like provide like supplies for people or like set up like funds for, helping people and getting donations and stuff like that. Like it kind of reminded me of something like that where it's like, oh, something just happened. Like, let's just start like right away, like trying to like help this situation. But in the dream I was like, dude, we can't keep this up with just like the two of us, because first of all, we weren't even trying to do this. Second of all, this isn't even like something that we're like professionally trained to do, and like these people need more help than what we can actually give them. But it's like, well, we are a resource instantly right now, and like these are friends of our friends, and so we might as well help them out where we can. But then yeah, it was like a little busy, I guess. It was like a busy dream. It was like there was a lot going on, but I don't know. I guess that's what goes on inside my head. I had a really vivid dream on like Wednesday night. I slept really good Wednesday night what night? Tuesday night. But I don't remember what the dream was like at all. I somewhat remembered it after a little bit, and then I don't remember it at all anymore. So I don't know. But I guess that's all I really have to say about that. It was I don't think there was any kind of like juicy thing going on. It was just very like I was happy to see this person, but other than that, it was like we were kind of busy catching up, and I don't remember what they said, and other than like how they got there because of the Instagram communication. And I remember thinking about the Instagram part. I was like, oh man, I should have like responded, because I really wasn't wanting them to come over at like 3 or 4 in the morning. But it was like whatever, like I wasn't like busy, so I was kind of like, I'll just get up and like start like hanging out with them and stuff. But it took a while. I think I was like getting ready for a while, and they were like waiting for me, and I was just like, well, I can't just like not get dressed, like so I don't know, that was a weird dream. Like I feel like I had like a whole day, and then I woke up and I'm like, I still got to start my day. So yeah, that was kind of weird, but I kind of like dreams like that. And it was fun, it was kind of interesting, like a little bit of overlap with like reality, with like Instagram and like messaging this person. It's just funny though, because in real life I hadn't really too much like remembered that I was going to message this person back. Like, I mean, the notifications there, I would have eventually gone on and like messaged them, but I wasn't like thinking about it much. I wasn't like, because it's like, I know they're busy, like they're busy so many days that I'm like, even if I did message them back earlier, it's like they're not available. So it's like, I'm not gonna message them when I know that they're not gonna read it. I was like, I have other days, when I can message them anyway, so it didn't really matter, and we'd already been talking, so but I don't really know where that came from. That was weird. But I didn't hate it. I mean, it was fun. It would be cool if they visited. I mean, maybe not at that hour, but it would be cool. I don't remember if we actually went anywhere and actually did anything. I think it was mostly all stuff connected to this helping thing, but I don't really remember what it was. At most, we might have gone to like a car dealership or like a place where we were helping people see cars. I just remember Prius. I remember minivan. I don't remember too much more. Those are kind of like the pieces. There was some other stuff, but it's just like I don't really know exactly. I don't really remember it at all. So I don't really remember like these other moving pieces. Like, but there's a lot going on in that dream. Well, that's it for now. Hopefully you enjoyed that weird dream of mine. I'm actually kind of tired today. I had a little bit of tea, but I'm wondering if I'm gonna need something else. Eating breakfast might help though. If I eat breakfast, sometimes that helps my energy. But I'm gonna see. All right. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for listening.